Hey, how are you? In this video, I'm going to talk about why you should not start an insurance agency. This is contradictory to a lot of my content, but I feel it is necessary to put something like this out there because I get so many people interested, reaching out, that I believe it is not for everyone. So I'm going to give you kind of the pros and the cons of why the insurance agency is good to start and why it's not good to start. Mainly in this one, though, it's going to be like this is all the BS, the dirty, not fun work that may resonate with you or may not resonate with you. So let's dive into it. All right, so just to start off this video, if you're watching this and you're looking to start an insurance agency right now in 2023, I just want to point out that it's one of the most difficult insurance markets to jump into and be a new agent in because there's so much restriction from the insurance carriers. I've made other videos about why that is the case. I won't dive into that so much right now because it is a complex economic conversation. So just want to point out right now is very, very difficult for new insurance agents to get appointments and to jump into the insurance industry because of all the underwriting and carrier restrictions in current 2023. It could get better. We'll see what happens. So that's just first things first, just pointing that out. So next thing I want to talk about is most people come from some sales background or sales in insurance agencies, already working in an insurance agency or for another agent. I want to just point out starting an insurance agency is not just being good at sales. That's obviously a very, very important part of starting and running an insurance agency. Like you should be good at running is making sales. So that's the bare minimum I would say is be good at sales. But there are several other things that I want to point out that may be good for you. You may be good at and may not be good at. So be aware when you start an insurance agency, you not only have to be good at sales, you need to be good at marketing. You need to be good at branding, like building an actual brand. You need to be good at customer service. You need to have accounting skills, so understanding how, balance sheets work, profit and losses, managing your accounting month to month. You need to be well versed in hiring and firing. And obviously, you don't know this day one, but these are things that you will eventually have to do. You have to be good at managing employees, how to keep people motivated, productive, happy, working for you, retain employees. That's another thing. You have to build culture. So make it a place or an environment, even if it's virtual, if you decide to start a virtual agency, how to make that still have a culture in itself. People want to work in places that have culture. Having operations. So what does a day-to-day look like for that service person and that salesperson and you, and what is the distribution of the work and running the operations day-to-day, managing those aspects. Building systems and processes. So having actual step guidelines on how to do anything in your agency, from the most basic things to logging in to your management system, to making a sale, to following up on a client or a potential client, following up on a closed deal already, what to do after the fact, what to do at a renewal, what if somebody calls in for service sales or questions for their bill, etc., etc., etc. These all need to have a certain processes and procedures that are efficient that you could plug new people into at any time. You need to have skills in data analysis to get a pulse and just see, the well-being and health of your agency and your business by running data analysis for sales, commissions, leads, tracking your, activity of your employees, all the different aspects, being able to analyze data and see what is working, what's not working. It is essential to efficiency and making decisions, efficient and strategic decisions. Knowing your numbers, like being good at math and forecasting and knowing like, okay, this month I'm going to make an extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in commission. What should I do with that money? How can I hire someone? Will I be able to afford that marketing expense or buying that new thing in the office? Those are also things. So know your numbers. That's one of the best pieces of advice I got early on. It's like, know your numbers. This is a business. So know your numbers. Networking, you got to be good at networking, building relationships and strategic partnerships for the business. That's extremely essential. Um, and scaling, like how do you scale? It kind of goes into what I just talked about with the numbers, but having also the risk assessment to say, okay, now is a good time to go aggressive and double down and pour more money in. The economy might be coming down. Should I be putting more money into marketing? Is this a time to expand or is this a time to contract? Personally, I believe in expansion. I believe in going aggressive and kind of keep pushing even through economic hardships, but that's a different topic, so I won't jump into that too much. But scaling. So those are all things you have to be aware of. It's not just opening an agency, making calls, closing a couple deals, making commissions. There's back-end customer service, renewals, marketing, accounting, hiring, firing, which is probably my least favorite thing out of anything I do in running this business is like letting people go. That to me sucks. Like I hate that feeling of knowing that I made a mistake and this person just isn't a right fit for my agency, and then I have to go and sit them down and basically say, we have to let you go. That's one of the worst things. So if you can stomach all these things, and those things excite you. That's kind of a good way to look at it. It's if you find excitement in all those different little things, and that's not all of them. That's just pieces of the stuff that are involved in running an insurance agency. If anything gives you like a twinge of like, okay, I feel excited about those things, then maybe it's a good idea to start your own insurance agency. Another thing, there's massive ups and downs. Like there are months that are amazing, and then there's months where you're like, what the hell is going on? We literally can't even make a sale in the last 2 weeks. Like this business is going down. It's just like there's days where you feel like you're on top of the world, and there's days where you feel like you're a complete piece of crap. And you should not be in business at all. So being able to recognize like that's just part of the business, and if that doesn't sound like you can emotionally handle those kinds of things, then don't do it. High stress levels are part of it too, like feeling the stress of working on a big deal that could make your year and then not getting it, and the weeks that build up to getting that deal and going to the pitch and then losing it or winning it. It's like there's a lot of stress involved too. Uncertainty of your income, like you don't always know what you're going to be making. You really hope to be in a position where you can predict, because you're good enough, what you're going to make. But there's uncertainty of income. There's several years of low income for yourself and reinvestment into the business. So be prepared to make very little money, if actually even possibly losing money in the first couple of years, if you're starting from scratch. There's just a ton of work with extremely delayed gratification. You don't really see the rewards of your hard work until years, possibly months or years later. And then another thing is like judgment of a lot of other people around you. Like even just because our businesses these days rely so heavily on putting out content and putting yourself out there and people seeing you and knowing who you are, there comes with that a lot of judgment and negative naysayers, people just throwing out negative comments and wishing not good things on you and your success and your business. On the flip side, there's people that are going to just hype you up, saying great things about you. And there's two different massive spectrums. For me personally, I like to look at it as I am completely independent of the good or the bad, either one of other people's opinions. I don't like to get too high on my own supply. When people are like, Chris, you're the best. Thank you so much for all this content. You're amazing. You helped me save so much money, et cetera, et cetera. And then I get the same thing where it's like, boy, you need to get some training. You need to go and like quit this insurance thing, like whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, whatever. So you gotta just stay in the middle, stay grounded, stay consistent. So if that's another factor, like you can't stomach the judgment of your family, friends, moms, cousins, everybody's, then maybe it's not for you. So I'm going to talk about some tips that have really helped me build up my agency in the last couple of years and manage these emotional roller coasters of what it comes with running a business. So one thing I'd like to do is I like to stay in great physical condition and physical shape. I go to the gym religiously. I try to go every single day, at least 4 to 5 times a week. And then I do a 20-30-minute sauna and a cold shower after, which helps me. I believe there's certain benefits that come with controlling your central nervous system, which I think if you can handle your mind, control your emotions, it's going to help you tremendously in running a business. Yeah, so working out keeps my mind right. I'm also reading constantly. I'm implementing new effective business strategies that I think are important. So getting good books that are really um, that are meant to help improve business efficiency and processes and sales, management. So all these aspects of the things I talked about, I try to read books that align with those kinds of things. I surround myself with other successful people that I think that are better than me or are pushing me, and that I can bounce ideas off of, and just that also resonate with the shit that I'm dealing with, dude. Like I have a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with on a regular basis. So it's nice to sit down and talk to someone that also understands where I'm coming from. I have a good mentor that I have has helped me throughout the last couple of years in tough situations with employees, whether it's making a big sale, going into a big pitch, those kinds of things. It's amazing to have someone you can pick up the phone and be like, hey, real quick, Chris, like, what do you think I should do in this situation? Like a 3-minute conversation. Okay, perfect, dude. Yeah, dude, go in, actually try to sell them up a package, or actually try to sell them down a package, and just highlight the possible fears and the situations that could cause a really bad claim. That extra little like reassurance when you're going into something big and you're not sure, or even dealing with an employee, like, look, man, I've seen this 12 times. I could tell you this is how it plays out. Do what you got to do, but this is what I would do if I were you. Like, hearing that from a mentor, essential. Get yourself a mentor, reach out to me, schedule a call with me if you want. You don't have to. I'm not like trying to sell you on this, but it does just really help hearing it from someone else that's already done it. It gives you that extra layer of confidence. So another thing, like today's Sunday, I'm doing this video on a Sunday. I come in on Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays, as much as I possibly can. Not always. Most of you that follow me on Instagram at Chris the Insurance Guy, you probably know, like, I travel, I go out, I still party. I'm still like a younger guy. So I like to have a good balance between, work and enjoying my life. And traveling is one of the things I value the most. Like, I really like experiences and new places and exploring and adventures. So if I'm ever in your state, hit me up. If you see my Instagram, hit me up. I'm always down to meet up with insurance people too. But yeah, I come in as much as I possibly can on Saturdays, Sundays, put in that extra work, because that's when you have time to just chill, really like do the extra things. And the more you do these extra things, the less time you're thinking and worrying about them when you're not working. So that worry builds up too. And then also, you're doing productive stuff that's making more money, and with more money, more freedom, more flexibility, and just less worry. At the end of the day, it gives you peace of mind knowing that you put in that extra work, and good things, better results are coming. I also don't cut corners. Since the beginning, I've always taken the long route, even though I've known that there's a faster way to make more money or make more commission or get stuff built out faster. I knew that if you have to do things right, especially when you're building up. The structure of the business is essential to have dialed in a proper way. You don't want to cut corners to build, long-lasting, sustainable success. I'm a big believer in that, even if that means taking less rewards up front. So sacrifice early on, and the rewards build a strong foundation, and the rewards will come later on. I truly believe that. Also, goals. Like, this is such an important topic that I feel is not talked about enough. Setting goals is one of the most important things you can do for your business or for yourself personally. Like, have a goal. First off, visualize where you want to be a month, 2 months, 3 years, 4 years. And I like to set stuff like 4 or 5 years in advance goals, and write them down. This is the number one key here, is write down your goals. You don't just think them in your head. They have to be physically somewhere. Make it your wallpaper on your phone and set that, and do not change it, and focus on it every single day. Make them also realistic and attainable enough where it's like you can measure what you need to do to get there, and then work backwards from that. Because a ship that leaves the harbor and it has no direction, no compass, no map, almost every time will end up on the rocks or shipwrecked. But a ship that has a destination, it has a destination first off. The other one doesn't even have a destination. It doesn't even know where it's going. So most people, like 9 out of 10 times, you ask people, what are your goals? Where do you want to be in 5 years? They can't even answer that question. So answer that question for yourself in detail, write it down, and make it so clear and put it in front of you daily. And I believe you will work, as long as you're working towards that goal, I believe you're a successful person and a successful business owner, or just a successful person in general. Success, as Earl Nightingale would say from the great book Think and Grow Rich, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So whatever that worthy ideal it is whether it's being a teacher, whether it's being a great parent, whether it's being a super successful business owner that owns a yacht, whatever it is, when we write that down and have it in such perfect detail and spoken almost in a first person, where you put it out there and it's written down, physical, like keep saying it. It's so important to have it written down. Once that's there and you are working towards that on a day-to-day basis, you are a successful person. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Shout out to you, Earl Nightingale, RIP. Another thing is keeping an extremely positive mindset. I like to do meditations daily when I wake up. Right when I wake up, I do a meditation in the shower for like 10, 15 minutes. I literally sit in the shower. It's super weird. If somebody saw me, they'd think I'm like completely insane, but that's what I do. I sit there, I visualize, I get present, because you need to stay in the present moment. If you're worrying about the past or the future, it's very hard to feel the feelings necessary to visualize and get in the state of like truly being that person or that whatever, teacher, parent, business owner, whatever it is that you're trying to become. It really takes time to sit there and feel that feeling and be present. So that's first off. And then visualize the future and like feel as if it's already reality. That's what I do. But keeping a positive mindset is so important when you show up every day and realize like, and keep everything in perspective too. When you lose a giant deal, like obviously that feels terrible. I've been there. I've lost six-figure accounts. I've lost tons of money where I'm like, I really, really could have used that to keep reinvesting or pay my team and like all these different things that would have been luxuries to have those policies. And I've lost them and they're gut wrenching, but I always kind of come back to my perspective. It's like, dude, if someone called me today and said like your grandma's in the hospital, your mom got in a car accident or something really, really bad. I know that's intense, but like something really, really bad happened. Like that deal would be so irrelevant to my life that's what keeps me going. I'm just glad to be playing this game of business. It's not that serious. Like obviously take it serious and try to win the game, but it's not that serious. So don't take it too seriously when like stuff like that happens. Just understand it is a game and people are playing the game and they could be good or bad. And that's why there's literally people that run insurance agencies that make half the money I make. And there's people that make triple times what I make because we're all playing the same game. We all have the same products. We all have the same things, but there's people that are really good at the game. So study and just play the game to the best of your ability. And it's you against you. So every day show up and try to be a better version of yourself and try to be the best version you could possibly be to set yourself up for success. That's pretty much all I got. I wanted to point out I think it's really important that first half of this video, you understand that though there is a lot of moving parts in this business and I deal with a lot of different things that people don't really see. And I can't put them out there on the record because it's confidential or it's just personal stuff that's going on in the business or even just my personal life, like all these different things coming together and running a business, it's all on you. That's the thing. It is a very lonely place, especially independent brokerages, because you don't have the support of Farmers or State Farm or all these other companies. So know that. That's all I got. I hope some value came from this video if you were thinking about it. And if you do, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Really appreciate you guys and all the support so far. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. So run it up. Share this with somebody you think can help. The video could help. And that's all I got. We'll see you guys at the top. Check us out on Instagram, Christy Insurance Guy. Super easy to find. And then Adelphia Insurance. Please give us a follow. And we'll see you guys at the top.